Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, who joins us right now. What a pleasure to have you, sir. Welcome to the Michael Medved Show.
Hey, Mark, thank you for having me.
Enormous pleasure. Thanks for being here. Let me ask you the 30,000-foot question first, and then we'll start to dig deep. How did you spend the weekend? How did last week strike you? And where do you see this drama right now, Monday, October 1st?
I was so angry last week, the way that Senate Democrats sacrificed Dr. Ford's confidentiality, the way they abused the approval process where instead of allowing a confidential vetting, they deliberately put out this letter afterwards. I was furious. So I went home and enjoyed my anniversary and didn't think about it at all.
You are a smart man. You're a good senator and a very smart man, and it was probably a very mentally healthy thing to do, good for your health and good for the marriage. So now we're all, how many years may I ask?
29.
Well, congratulations to both of you. That's for happy wife, happy life. Good for you, sir. So now we're back at it, and I've been listening to from Chuck Schumer to Mitch McConnell to John Cornyn to whoever comes after him. And it seems like we're all just sort of biding time, waiting to see what the FBI finds. What do you think they're going to find?
I think they're going to find exactly what has already been found, that Dr. Ford made. Obviously, Dr. Ford had some terrible experience, and she has made allegations. But all four people whom she says should know about it do not know about it. She has a backup statement. Well, they weren't really involved, so maybe they didn't know about it. But at some point in our system of life, not just government, not just law, but life, if four people say something didn't happen and one person says it did, you go with the four. Particularly when a man's whole reputation is online, or a woman's reputation, or anybody's reputation. It's not about male or female. It's about fairness. And four people said it didn't happen when she said should know that it did. You just got to go with the four. And so I think the FBI will find that, and I think there'll be a vote for Kavanaugh, and I think he'll be approved.
Senator Bill Cassidy with us from the great state of Louisiana. Is there any inside buzz in the hallways about what the heck happened in that tight space with Jeff Flake and Chris Coons as they walked out of the hearing room the other day?
No, I don't know that. In fact, I know they were on 60 Minutes last night, but I just saw them and I didn't look at it. I saw it on the screen. It was muted, and I didn't unmute it. Because the reality is that four people said it didn't happen, and there were the four people alleged to be witnesses. And by the way, it's like Kavanaugh has lived his life in such a sterling character that it doesn't fit a pattern either. And the Dems are trying to come up with things that would suggest there is a pattern of wrongdoing. But frankly, when Michael Avenatti is your spokesperson, you know you got thin gruel to go after somebody.
You have the quote of the day. It was muted, and I didn't unmute it. That's once again another lesson in life from Senator Bill Cassidy. So you have a Breitbart piece. It's pretty interesting, and it seems to be that if we got FBI probes on our minds and things we want the FBI to look at, and everybody wants to investigate everything, you have an idea or two about something that might be investigated, and that might be collusion that actually exists among Democrats to smear Judge Kavanaugh.
Totally. So Democrats are trying to make out like this is some sort of organic uprising of people coming out to say that Judge Kavanaugh is not credible, even though the four people that they said were there said it didn't happen. But this clearly is a tactic, a strategy with tactics, of which you smear him, you create doubt, and therefore you delay. They want to take back the Senate, they being Senate Democrats, at which point they would block a future Trump appointee. By the way, there's already a website for the woman, Coney Barrett, that was nominated. It's considered. It's stopconeybarrett.com, and it says website coming soon. So if President Trump comes up with another appointee, and Kavanaugh, for whatever reason, doesn't get appointed, they already are preparing. Now, this is collusion. This is a strategy, and it's fooling they're trying to fool the American people. Let's just have the FBI go and ask some people. Wait a second. Was this part of a strategy? Did you seek out someone to testify against Judge Kavanaugh? Did you deliberately not release a letter until after you knew, and you sacrificed Dr. Ford's confidentiality? Did you do it as part of a tactic, as part of a strategy to smear Judge Kavanaugh in public as opposed to have it dealt with confidentiality? Let's find out. Mark, I mean, here, if the American people they're trying to deceive the American people, that should be turned up. That should be, if you will, light cast upon it.
Indeed, by all means, if we got questions, everybody wants to be asking all these questions. We got a couple of questions we'd like to have asked ourselves. Hey, I've got a couple in our remaining couple of minutes. Let me get greedy with you because Senator Bill Cassidy is also on the Finance Committee. Big day at the White House. I don't know about you. The conservative DNA in me means that tariffs are not usually my favorite thing, but doggone it, man, this may be on the list of stuff that Trump's made me a believer. I mean, here's Canada, here's Mexico saying, okay, we're ready to play nice now. How did today strike you?
I think the president said he ran, saying he wanted to redo NAFTA. He redid NAFTA. It's one more promise that he made that he has subsequently kept. I think NAFTA has worked well for American workers. In my state, we have a positive balance of trade with Mexico and with Canada. You told me you're from Texas. You go along the border with Mexico, there's so much prosperity where there once was not. It's created a lot of jobs for a lot of folks in my state and across the country. But it did need to be redone. And the president has redone it, and he's going to take care of the American worker as well as have trade with Mexico and Canada. I think it's a good thing.
What's your crystal ball on the midterms?
If the people are focusing upon the economy and upon the fact that the president made promises and he kept promises, then I think Republicans will do okay. If we're focused on things that are peripheral, which of course Democrats are trying to keep us focused on things that are not in a pocketbook, not in a kitchen table, then we're going to have a tougher time. So I'm hoping the American people are focusing on, my gosh, my life's a lot better now than it was 3 years ago. Let me go with the team that brought me that better life.
And finally, back into the halls of the U.S. Senate, I don't know if you have a chance to run into Joe Manchin, Joe Donnelly, Heidi Heitkamp. Do they strike you as the kind of people, they voted for Gorsuch, all three of them, who might ultimately, they're just looking for a reason to get some cover to vote for Kavanaugh so that they don't get killed in their own home states?
I think if you're just being fair, you're going to say everybody Dr. Ford says should be a witness says they either don't remember or that it didn't happen. I think the FBI will find the same thing. So I'm hoping Donnelly, Heitkamp, others will say they're going to vote on the behalf of fairness. It shouldn't be about electoral politics. It should be about what is fair to a fellow American. And this would be fair to a fellow American after both Ford and Kavanaugh have been treated so unfairly by Senate Democrats. So I'm hoping they vote for fairness.
Senator and Dr. Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.